because it is anti-human.
That's very nice. I'm telling you.
Talk to me.
Let us make it great. Let us make her great. In the place, no skin too sacred. There's no sacrifice to make.
Good day, sir.
African Broadcasting Network. African Broadcasting Network. It's all about Africa. It's all about motherland. Celebrating rich cultural heritage. ABN, we bring the best. It's Africa. Broadcasting Network. African Broadcasting Network. Entertainment, education. African Broadcasting Network. Oh yeah. Information, cultural value. African Broadcasting Network. ABN, celebrating Africa's rich cultural heritage.
Well, the last may not have been heard over the suspension of Justice Walter Onnoghen as the Chief Justice of Nigeria, as the National Judicial Council, NJC, has summoned an emergency meeting at the nation's capital on Tuesday. Sources told Channels Television that neither Justice Onnoghen, whose suspension has become a subject of controversy, nor Justice Mohammed, the acting CJN, will be allowed to preside over the meeting. President Muhammadu Buhari had on Friday suspended Justice Walter Onnoghen as Chief Justice of Nigeria on the strength of an order by the Code of Conduct Tribunal asking the CJN to step aside. The same order also compels the President to swear in the next most senior Justice of the Supreme Court as the Chief Justice, pending the determination of the suit against Justice Onnoghen. The suspension of Justice Onnoghen has drawn wide criticisms from various bodies, notably lawyers and politicians. Even the international community has expressed its reservations about the implication of the government's action close to the general elections. Meanwhile, the National Executive Committee of the Nigeria Bar Association, NBA, is meeting on Monday over the suspension of Justice Onnoghen. And as reactions trail the suspension of the justice, the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, is asking the next in rank to the chairman of the National Judicial Council, NJC, to immediately take over the case involving the embattled Chief Justice of Nigeria within 5 days, with a view to setting up a committee to investigate the allegations of breach of constitutional asset declaration requirements against him. SERAP also wants the NJC to ask Justice Onnoghen to step aside from his role as Chief Justice pending the outcome of the investigation and to consider the issue of the appointment of Justice Mohammed with a view to ensuring strict compliance with constitutional provisions. The petition reads in part, quote, "This matter has inevitably thrown our country into a judicial cum constitutional crisis, which if not urgently addressed would lead to political crisis that would seriously put at risk Nigeria's fledgling democracy, consequently exacerbating the decline in respect for human rights at all levels of government," end of quote. SERAP is concerned that if the issues raised by the suspension of Justice Onnoghen are not urgently addressed, it could lead to denial of access to justice to the most marginalized and vulnerable section of the population. For the Rivers State Governor, Nyesom Wike, the suspension of Justice Walter Onnoghen, if not properly handled, is capable of precipitating full-blown security crisis in the country. The governor stated this during a visit by the National Executive Committee of the International Federation of Women Lawyers, who also lamented that the crisis may affect women and children.
The national anthem.
Excellency, on our passing visit to you this morning, DSS.
If you cannot keep your house in order, why do you carry the problem to the judiciary? Why? That you destroy a whole institution. That you not think that you bring another CJN that will upturn everything that the courts have done. Nobody knows what led to Boko Haram emergency. Nobody knows which sect will come up again tomorrow. We are talking about insecurity already, and look at the crisis. As somebody who promised Nigerians of security, look at the crisis you're precipitating that will lead to so many things. It's very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. You mean we can make ourselves available to destroy the institution that we belong to? Now they command the Court of Appeal, you must reverse this. Of course, everybody's afraid. If I don't do now, they'll come and pick me up.
Meanwhile, a governorship candidate of the Labour Party in Kwara State, Issa Remo, is asking the suspended Chief Justice of Nigeria, Walter Onnoghen, to resign honourably in order to bring a reform to the judicial system in the country. Mr. Remo, who gave his position on the debate while addressing journalists in Ilorin, also applauded the action of the President, asking him to go a step further by implementing the 2014 report on the appointment of Nigerians into public office.
The suspended CJ did everything to make sure not to appear before the Code of Conduct Bureau. Even though the same CJ had made judgment before to say when it comes to allegations of corruption, non-declaration of assets, only the Code of Conduct Bureau could answer or address those issues. In his own court, there are settled judgments that he has made. Now, for the CJ to move from court to court, shopping for court orders, more or less shopping, to restrain Code of Conduct Bureau, for me, is extremely very embarrassing. It has a lot of implications for the administration of justice in this country. For me, this is not leadership by example, and I think the CJ must lead by example. He who works for equity must come with plain hands, and I think this is one dictum that has come in the administration of justice. I strongly believe that the CJ ought to have resigned rather than going to this level in which the president has to make a broadcast to remove him with all the implications for our legal system.
To the debate, the controversy over the Chief Justice of Nigeria is senior advocate of Nigeria and rights activist Femi Falana, who is criticizing both the judiciary and the executive of making errors in the processes leading to the suspension of the CJN. Mr. Falana believes the crisis can be resolved if Justice Onnoghen resigns and the executive reviews its decision. The senior advocate was a guest on our political program, Sunday Politics.
You must learn to respect due process. You can't fight corruption without following due process. Therefore, I'm going to advise, honestly speaking, that the government should, as a matter of urgency, lift the suspension on the Chief Justice. And since the Chief Justice has so much to, on his own, admitted that he did not declare his assets, he should do the needful by calling it quits.
You mean Justice Onnoghen should quit the bench?
Should be prepared to quit the bench after the suspension has been lifted. He should be advised.
If he's not found guilty?
Because,
by any court?
No. Yes. Because once you have admitted that I failed in my duty to declare my asset as required by the Constitution, right? You must learn to be civilized. And a government can never be in a hurry. A government can never be allowed to engage in jungle justice or self-help. Unfortunately, this time around, both sides, both the judicial arm of government and the executive arm of government, have disappointed Nigerians.
In what way?
Ours is the only country in the world. And I have challenged my colleagues to tell me any modern state, apart from banana republics, where you go to courts to forum shop for court order. No.
Well, the presidency appears not to be happy with some of the comments from some members of the international community over the suspension of Justice Walter Onnoghen. President Buhari's Special Assistant on Media, Mr. Garba Shehu, believes the decision of the president is in order. He, however, says in as much as the Buhari government respects the help of these countries in democratic development, some of the reactions are unexpected. Mr. Shehu was a guest on our political program, Sunday Politics.
I think this is why, since the new American president came into office about 2 years ago, there has been so much quarrel between them and Russia, because one country is accusing the other of meddling in their own elections. In our statement, we did say we are interested in being assisted to improve our elections and to grow our democracy. However, where these attempts aimed at dividing our people or sowing seeds of discontent or trouble, no, this government will not accept. In this particular instance, most of the argument put against us by those foreign countries says that this is the wrong time. 3 weeks to elections, you don't do a thing like this. And I think that if they are fair to us, they should know that in our own laws, a policeman can make arrest on Christmas Day. He can make arrest on Salah Day or on Sunday. There is no holy day on which you cannot apprehend, criminals. So our laws should be allowed to work. And the president acted upon the directive by a code of law recognized by our own constitution, and so therefore our president has done no wrong. They will not have accepted this in their own countries.
In the meantime, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has again compared the Buhari government to that of the late military dictator Sani Abacha. In a statement by Mr. Abubakar thanking the US, UK governments and the European Union for their responses on the suspension of Justice Walter Onnoghen, the PDP flag bearer says he is not fighting for justice for Onnoghen, but he is fighting for the Constitution. Mr. Atiku says the current situation is like a deja vu, reminding him of scenarios under a particularly brutal leadership, military dictatorship. He adds that Nigerians witnessed the illegal and arbitrary removal of many innocent people from their positions of authority, and many said nothing because they were not from the ethnic group of those affected. A style of operation Mr. Atiku accused President Buhari of learning very well from his teacher. Elsewhere, the Anambra State government says it rejects in totality the endorsement of the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, by the Igbo Socio-Cultural Organization, Ohanaeze Ndigbo. The secretary to the state government, Professor Solu Chukwulubelu, and the state commissioner for information, Mr. Dinuba, in a press conference held in Awka, the state capital, says Anambra was not given the opportunity to make an input in the decision as a financial member, insisting that the outcome is unacceptable and cannot stand.
The point remains. Ohanaeze called it wrong. He got it wrong. And there is nothing that stops the state government from stating that. Most so when the state government did not have the opportunity of putting his own case. Is it possible? You could ask yourself this question. If Anambra State had gone there, made his own case forcefully, is it possible that he could have swayed the decision? That others may also have listened? Anambra State government delegation went there to argue the case that nobody should be endorsed.
In May last year, every state government refused in the Southeast to host the Johannesburg meeting on political reforms of this country.
Yes.
Only William Biano did it, financed it. He was the only governor who came. No other governor, others could not even send their deputy governors, not even send it to the government. They were all afraid. All of you were here just a few months ago. Even some of the people today claiming to be Igbo candidates couldn't have the courage to attend to defend Igbo position. Today, these opportunists are now claiming, oh, we are defenders of Igbo interests. Where we are there.
Call 832-807-3581. Lekon or Lalekon, the floor manager at Sterling McCall Toyota Center, will get you a good deal. Walk in and ask for Lekon or Lalekon at the front desk. See him and get the unbeatable deal on new and used cars. 2 years tire rotation, bumper to bumper, up to 36,000 miles. 2 years free oil change and full service care. Lekon or Lalekon is the only one that can get you the best deal at Sterling McCall Toyota Center, 9400 Southwest Freeway, Houston, Texas 77074, or email him at lageshin@sterlingmccalltoyota.com. Call him on 832-807-3581. Lekon or Lalekon, Eniba Mona La Tele. Whether you have a bad or good credits, call him now and you surely love the deal.
And President Muhammadu Buhari is seeking the support of traditional rulers in addressing the country's security challenges. The president, who was speaking during a meeting with traditional rulers in Osun State, says they play a vital role in society and can assist in shaping the minds of the youth. The president also used the opportunity to solicit the support of the monarchs in his re-election bid.
President Muhammadu Buhari arrives the government house, Osogbo, Osun State, in continuation of his presidential campaign in the southwest. He heads straight to a meeting with traditional leaders at the banquet hall.
I have the mandate of my people, all traditional rulers in Osun State, to assure Mr. President that you have no fear in Osun State. We are going to deliver. We are going to deliver this state for APC.
The president acknowledges huge support received so far as he makes reference to the last elections held in the state.
I know by remote control through so many sources how we manage to maintain the party in power in this state. I thank you very much for your cooperation, and I honestly do not expect anything less from you. Our government is determined to maintain the fundamental objectives we have identified. One, to secure the country. Two, to manage it properly, we have to do something about the economy. And three, to stop bribery and corruption.
President Muhammadu Buhari then led other officials to the stadium where a huge crowd gathered for the campaign. The Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, and entourage jubilated to the excitement of hundreds of supporters.
On issues of integrity, on issues of consistency, on issues of courage, on issues of believing in Nigeria, you have fought the war to keep Nigeria together.
Those people that have wasted so much of our time for about 16 years, they cannot be clamoring to come back now. What have they done with the time they've been given to serve this country? Don't believe them.
Here, the president gave more assurances. This is the president's 16th campaign stop since the flag-off in Akwa Ibom State, south-south Nigeria. The presidential campaign train is expected to move to other states in the south and northern region in the next 7 days. From Osogbo, Osun State, Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
Well, staying with politics, the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, says the provision of potable water and other social and economic amenities to communities in the state will reduce poverty among the people. He explained that it would also lessen the rate of attendance at hospitals, resulting in increased productivity. He said this when he visited residents of the various communities in the Lorunshogo and Irepo local government areas of the state. Supporters of the People's Democratic Party and residents of the Okeogun axis in Oyo State trooping out with dance and music to welcome the PDP governorship candidate in Oyo State, Seyi Makinde. The campaign starts with a visit to members of the National Union of Road Transport Workers before moving to religious bodies, traditional rulers and market men and women. The team also stopped by at the palace of the Iba of Kishi, Oba Masood Lawal, where the monarch prayed for the candidate but requested that the traditional institution be accorded its place of pride. Thereafter, the campaign train moved to the Oja Oba market to join an enthusiastic crowd.
I want to make a good road for us, and no light, no water.
My message to them is, when the tide is high, all the boats will rise. Once we're able to fix the economy of Oyo State, the benefits will go around, it will go everywhere. So they should relax. We will fix all of those things for them.
As the campaign team leads the town to other parts of the Okeogun axis, the People's Democratic Party says it is optimistic that the people are yearning for a change in governance of the state. As Nigerians prepare to elect those who will lead them for the next 4 years, Governor Ifeanyi Okowa is urging the people to cast their votes for only candidates of the PDP as they have the blueprint to positively transform the country. The governor made the appeal during the campaign rallies of the People's Democratic Party at Bomadi and Patani local government areas of Delta State. Well, that was on the Cross River State government campaign train stopped over at Bekwara and Obudu local government areas of the state where the governor hails from. Also, the youth wing of the All Progressives Congress in Imo State organized a peaceful road march in support of the re-election bid of President Muhammadu Buhari and the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo.
The season of campaign rallies continues across the country. In Delta State, Governor Ifeanyi Okowa insists that holding political office in trust for the people requires qualified and capable individuals, and the PDP parades such qualified candidates. The governor, who was accompanied to the rally by his wife, Dame Edith, and his deputy, Barrister Kingsley Otuaro, thanked Deltans for their support, asserting that with a partnership that works, more projects will be executed by his administration if given the opportunity to continue in office.
And I pray, say all of us will work hard that day. Make Mama allow anybody come surprise man. Make Mama allow anybody threaten man. Come, be strong and be courageous. Be strong and be courageous.
From Delta to Cross River, the momentum of re-election campaign continues as Governor Ayade's campaign train makes a stop at Bekwara and Obudu local government areas of the state where the governor hails from. At each of the local government areas, The governor, alongside his campaign team, are received by a mammoth crowd who trooped out in their numbers to the campaign field to show solidarity to one of their own. Addressing the crowd, Governor Ayade, alongside his deputy, Professor Ivara Isu, gives reassuring words of continuous development even in their locality. They both sued for the support of the electorate in voting the PDP in all positions during the elections.
Ayade is a God. Ayade is a God. Ayade is a God.
The youth wing of the All Progressives Congress in Imo State also organized a peaceful road march in support of the re-election bid of President Muhammadu Buhari and Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. Speaking to newsmen during the march, the leader of the group says the aim is to show President Buhari that Imo State is solidly for the APC.
This is 2019 and the election is coming by in about 2 weeks' time, and the president has declared that he is contesting for a second term and that he has shown Nigeria that there is a next level. And so we are queuing into the next level. We have adopted the next level slogan, and our people has accepted to move with Buhari to the next level.
As the campaign train continues to crisscross different states, the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Imo State, Emeka Ihedioha, stopped over at Idato North and South, as well as Isu local government area of the state, where he promised a transparent and all-inclusive government if elected governor of Imo State.
Well, away from the campaign trains to education, where the federal government is expressing concern over the continuous proliferation of illegal universities and polytechnics in the country. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, the Minister of Education, Malam Adamu Adamu, explains that over 60 illegal degree awarding institutions identified by the National Universities Commission will be shut down in addition to the prosecution of their operators.
The unprecedented population growth in our society makes it not unexpected that education seekers will look for an outlet. As you know, we have not been able to admit more than 20%, at most of 30% for all tertiary institutions in the country. So about 70 of our qualified candidates, some will try to do everything possible to find a place, and this has led them to be deceived by illegal institutions. The end result has come to be the embracing of illegally acquired certificates through cutting corners, even by those who are approved by study centers, outreach centers, that these unapproved establishments are usually manned by unqualified and unrecognized teachers. The most outrageous is the outright establishment of fake institutions masquerading as universities with all sorts of affiliations. These now have become a common feature in our educational landscape.
Discover the uniqueness in the entertainment industry. African Broadcasting Network, ABN, is now the pace setter in the industry. Do you want to advertise your product and services? Count on us. We will do it much more than your expectations. African Broadcasting Network, ABN, will deliver quick and prompt services. Our quality and clarity stands us out when it comes to delivering quality broadcasting. Our staffs are hardworking and versatile in the specific field of office. Our environment is so conducive and we are open to all. We also give advice on how to run your business profitably. African Broadcasting Network is situated at
9894 Eastern Street, Suite 875, Houston, Texas 77036.
Contact phone 281-652-8396 and
832-490-8203.
Website www.abntvnetwork.com. ABN, celebrating Africans' rich cultural heritage.
Welcome to Sivas Global Logistics, a subsidiary of Sivas Group in Nigeria. We offer the fastest, trustworthy, and reliable service with a world-class customer services, project logistics, sea, air, and land, warehousing and distribution, export and import packing, customer clearance and documentation, procurement and supply chain, exhibition and handling, transportation insurance. We have the biggest warehousing distribution in Nigeria. We are the first to receive your project logistics, sea, air and land. Get to us first before the distribution with Cephas Group in Nigeria. Visit us today at 8180 Southwest Freeway, Houston, Texas 77074. Telephone 281-832-9000 or 832-593-3067. Email us at info@cephasglobal.com or www.cephasglobal.com. Our skill is global, but our strength is local.
We'll kick off with this political story coming from Akwa Ibom State, where the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress there, Mr. Nsima Ekere, has decried the infrastructure deficit in the state, especially in rural areas. Mr. Ekere, who stated this during his campaign to Ikono and Ini local government area, says the affected communities are among the 8 declared as special development areas that require special infrastructure interventions. He's asked the people to support his ambition of becoming governor in order to realize the promises.
Godswill Akpabio and our governor to be Nsima Ekere.
Odoro Ikpe, the administrative headquarters of Ini local government, hosts a large crowd of residents and enthusiastic supporters of the All Progressives Congress as the Nsima Ekere campaign train storms the area. Leaders of the party across board, including its senatorial candidate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, are here. It's another opportunity for the candidates to woo the people and explain why they should be voted into power.
Are you going to vote people to see people? Government should tell the truth. You vote for a government of transformation, a government of integrity. You vote for President Buhari of integrity and Nsima Ekere of integrity.
The governorship candidate promises more development to the area to complement his efforts while in charge of the Niger Delta Development Commission.
We have come up with several things, a lot of programs to make sure it may affect Mewo positively once the new government starts. That's why I'm very happy that all of you in Ini came out. My appeal to you is that get your PVCs, get ready, and vote APC from top to bottom.
New members who recently defected from opposition parties, including the governorship candidate of the All Alliance Grand Party, are received.
Receive empowerment. My son, receive prosperity.
From Ini to Ikono, a neighboring local government area, another encouraging turnout. The APC receives another set of defectors from other parties.
500 defectors. Mr. Gaddafi, you are welcome into the party.
Again, the governorship candidate asks the people to support his ambition.
And so what I would do when I become governor is to declare these 2 local governments, in addition to 6 other local governments in the state, as special development areas, so that we can concentrate on these areas and ensure that we can uplift the standard of living and provide them with the needed infrastructure. That's basically what this program is all about.
Ini and Ikono are believed to be among the strongholds of the All Progressives Congress in Akwa Ibom State. The party says it is assured that the support will also reflect at the polls.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So let's touch base in Imo State, where public primary and secondary schools in the state will soon get a facelift. According to the state governor, Rochas Okorocha, the government is committing 7.5 billion naira to the project and assures that it is putting in place measures to ensure the renovation and remodeling of the schools is complete before it leaves office on May the 29th.
Students from primary and secondary school in the large numbers gather at the Heroes Square in Owerri, the Imo State capital, for the official flag-off of the distribution of free school bags put together by the state government. The arrival of the wife of the state governor, Mrs. Nkechi Okorocha, signaled the commencement of this all-important state event. More interestingly is the choice of their costume. The governor's wife and other state functionaries at the event are all dressed in school uniforms. According to the Commissioner for Basic and Secondary School Education, Mrs. Florence Emenalo, the gesture is part of the numerous achievement of the state government, which is not only to give free education, but quality and quantitative education to students of state-owned primary and secondary schools.
A lot of programs have been launched by the present government, which included No Teacher, No School, Total Child Adoption, Our Children, Our Future. His Excellency, classy and aesthetic values have brought about his renovation and remodeling of schools in the state to create favorable and conducive child-friendly learning environment with computers and ICT strength.
For Imo State Governor Richard Okorocha, education remains the key to development and greatness.
I will release immediately the sum of 1 billion naira for the children in primary and secondary school of Imo State for their pocket money. In this case, I will also approve the immediate release of 1 school bag to every child in primary school and every child in secondary school, which the teachers will collect now.
And now to the unveiling and distribution of the school bags to students.
I want to wear you this school bag. Believing that it is well with you, my daughter. Go forth and conquer in Jesus' name.
Congratulations.
The event witnessed march past and several cultural displays by students. Hopefully this gesture will act as a boost to their performance in education.
And to security matters now, the Acting Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, is calling on all Nigerians who are in unlawful possession of illegal weapons to immediately return such weapons voluntarily to police stations or public armory nearest to them. A press statement signed by the Forces Public Relations Officer, Frank Mba, says intelligence reports indicates the presence of huge quantity of arms in unlawful possession of some Nigerians and the desperation of some citizens to acquire more arms. The statement adds that with immediate effect, the Inspector General of Police has placed an embargo on the issuance of new licenses for designated arms throughout the country. It further advises Nigerians to take advantage of the voluntary arms return window and do the right thing, as there will be dire consequences for defaulters. Now, after suffering decades of perennial flooding, Ketso community in Mokwa local government area of Niger State has got a new settlement area acquired by the state government. Well, the land located in Chegama, a nearby upland community in the same local government area, is expected to accommodate more than twice the present population of Ketso. Well, this is according to the government, in line with the current administration's plan to resettle all riverine communities in the state before the next rainy season. Our correspondent, Emperor Simon, tells the story.
In 2018, 3 persons were killed in Ketso community as a result of flood disaster. The state government is therefore moving to tackle a recurrence. This is Ketso community during the rainy season. Many areas suffered from the 2018 flood disaster in Niger State. Residents tell the tale of hardship when it rains, an experience they've been dealing with for decades.
Our farmland was submerged, our domestic animals, source of livelihood.
We and Ketso were all the same thing. And we too were pitting there for the flood disaster when we used to disturb them every year. And we are praying for them to come here and meet us.
The state government is staying true to its promise to relocate vulnerable communities, as officials of the State Ministry of Lands and Housing visit Chegama to sign a memorandum of understanding with the village head for the acquisition of land. The team also compensate the people for their land.
Land anywhere in Nigeria, belongs to somebody, and then in every state is the governor that controls who now delegate to whoever or assign. So for the purpose of that, if the people of Chegema, they are host to Keso people, but the land being donated to them need to be compensated for these people to properly take over.
It's a dream come true for the people of Ketso community, not knowing what flood waters 2019 will bring.
From the look of things, we are very, very happy. I think I cannot express the type of happiness we are experiencing now.
I'm very, very appreciative. Based on this arrangement, they are made for our people.
The Chegema people are happy to welcome their new neighbors and they hope for a peaceful coexistence. The land area is expected to be cleared and demarcated by the state government for onward allotment to each beneficiary.
His Excellency Alhaji Abubakar Sani Bello has provided for so many social amenities to be on this site, and it's usual of Mr. Governor to provide such services in anywhere we want to relocate people. Such services include provision of road, provision of water, provision of electricity, provision of schools, provision of hospitals, and so on.
This new site, which is about 59 hectares of land, is expected to provide accommodation. The state government has also said that it will make available the basic amenities in this place, and it is expected to take off before the next rainy season. Emperor Simon, Channels Television News.
Well, staying in the northern region, the Nasarawa state government has commenced the production of fertilizer, which is customized to suit its soil texture. Governor Tanko Almakura said the initiative is in line with the federal government's diversification initiative aimed at ensuring food security and reducing the nation's dependence on oil.
In 2016, the federal government signed a memorandum with Morocco as part of its diversification policy to enable self-sufficiency in fertilizer production. In 2017, the Nasarawa state government keyed into the initiative through a partnership with China, where fertilizer blending plants were procured. According to Governor Tanko Almakura, the idea is not just fertilizer production, but a blend which is suitable to the soil texture of the state and also to tutor agriculture students on the blending process.
We brought the technical team, the soil department from Beidou in China to study Nasarawa state soil so that the kind of fertilizer that will be produced will be conducive to the kind of soil that we have. This will be the very first of its kind in the country, where fertilizer is customized in line with the soil test, soil texture, and soil nature.
The plants are now fully installed in the 3 senatorial districts of the state with 100 tons per hour capacity. 70% of the population in Nasarawa are farmers, and there has been shortfalls in the supply of fertilizer to farmers. Governor Tanko Almakura, while inspecting the plant in Lafia, expresses confidence that with this development, the challenge will be tackled ahead of the coming farming season, as fertilizer will be available at subsidized rates for farmers.
We will be able to produce about 100 tons per hour. I believe at this rate, we will not only supply Nasarawa state farmers with fertilizer, we will be able to handle even our neighboring states with the fertilizer that will be produced from Nasarawa state.
With the target production capacity, the governor expresses optimism that the quantity will meet the demand of farmers and thereby ensure food security in the state, in addition to exporting the product as a way of scaling up the state's revenue base. Halima Gayam, Channels Television News.
lie. I told you, my attorney has it. He fought for me.
Diana, I'm about to be deported.
That's all right, ladies. I am Attorney Westcott. I specialize in immigration. I can help with cancellation of deportation or removal, extension of B1, B2, accidents and personal injury, and criminal defense. As for your case, I will fight for you.
Ruby, I've been calling you. What happened? Where have you been?
I got in a car accident.
Girl, call Westcott Law Group.
Westcott Law Group?
Westcott Law Group.
Yes, I am Attorney Westcott. Are you hurt in an accident? Call me. I will get you every penny that you deserve.
Westcott Law Group is at 9525 Business Street, Suite 270, right in the Chase Bank Building, Houston, Texas 77036, 832-831-1412, or visit my case at westcottlawgroup.com. The law.
Welcome to Sports News. Bayelsa Cranes have emerged the champions of the Nigerian Women's Football League, ending a 12-year wait for a league title. The Bayelsa State-based side this evening dethroned the former holders, Nasarawa Amazons, by 2-0 at the Agege Stadium in Lagos. Bayelsa Queens Izuamaka Igwe gave her side the lead in the second half, while Joy Bukiri capitalizes on Nasarawa Amazons' defense blunder to fly past keeper Chukwuchenna to make it 2-0 for the Restoration Girls. Earlier, Sunshine Queens of Akure won the third-place match, edging out Rivers Angels by a lone goal. Rivers Angels' Amici Ogini mistakenly turns a low-cross ball into her net after 8 minutes to hand Sunshine Queens the win. In the Nigeria Professional Football Match Day 5 produced 2 away victories and recorded a total of 10 goals earlier today. Bendel Insurance forced Niger Tornadoes to a goalless draw in Minna. Despite being banished to Osogbo in Osun State, Remo Stars earned their first win of the season, beating Katsina United 2-0. In Bauchi, Sunshine Stars recorded their first win of the season, defeating Wiki Tourists 1-0. Rivers United beat MFMFC by a lone goal. Enugu Rangers beat Eyimba Vaba by the same margin in an Oriental derby. In other games, Derby Stars recorded their first win of the NPFL season in style, smashing Kwara United 3-0. FC Ifeanyi recorded the second away win thanks to a 1-0 victory against Kada City in Kaduna. And world number 1 Novak Djokovic has claimed a record 7th Australian Open crown as he eased past Rafael Nadal 6-3, 6-2, 6-3 in his most dominant Grand Slam win over the Spaniard earlier today. The pair's 53rd tour clash in 8th in a major final failed to live up to their great rivalry as top seed Djokovic bulldozed through the first 2 sets with machine-like precision. The Serb went down on his knees and shook his fists at the sky, roaring in triumph, having moved past Roger Federer and Roy Emerson's 6 Melbourne titles to take sole ownership of the record.
I'm just trying to contemplate on the journey in the last 12 months because as Rafa, I've been through a surgery and quite a major injury myself the last couple of years, but I had the surgery exactly 12 months ago, and to be standing now here in front of you today and managing to win this title and 3 out of 4 slams is truly amazing. I'm speechless.
Authorities in Brazil have asked thousands of people living around a dam in the town of Brumadinho to evacuate, and this is at the risk of the dam giving way. Now, they say they have found water levels rising dangerously high at the dam and have ordered a shutdown of the town's bridges. Just days ago, a first dam in the same town ruptured, causing a sea of muddy sludge to bury the side's cafeteria, where workers were eating lunch, and at least one bus that carried employees before engulfing buildings, vehicles and roads. So far, 366 people have been rescued, 23 of them in hospital, but many more remain missing. Rescue efforts are being hampered by the thick mud currently in the area. 20 people have been killed after 2 bombs exploded at a Roman Catholic church in southern Philippines. The church is located in Holo Island, where Islamist militants are said to be active. As at the time of this report, no group has yet claimed responsibility for the attack.
81 people were wounded in the attack, which happened in the country's restive south on Sunday, just 6 days after a referendum on autonomy for the mainly Muslim region returned an overwhelming yes vote. The first explosion went off inside the cathedral on Jolo Island in Sulu province and was followed by a second blast outside, which was detonated as security forces raced to the scene. It is regarded as one of the deadliest attacks in recent years in a region long plagued by instability. It came amid hope and excitement about the ratification of a devolution plan that aims to bring development, jobs and peace to one of Asia's poorest and most volatile places. The government has vowed to destroy those behind the attack. Defense Secretary Delphine Lorenzana has described the attack as dastardly and called on the local population to work with authorities to deny terrorism any victory. He has promised to use full force of the law to bring to justice perpetrators behind the attack.
And the main news again. The National Judicial Council, NJC, has summoned an emergency meeting in Abuja on Tuesday over the suspension of Walter Onnoghen as Chief Justice of Nigeria. Sources told Channels Television that neither the suspended CJN of Justice Mohammed that took over from him, of Justice Mohammed that took over from him, will be allowed to preside over the meeting. And that's News at 10 tonight. Many thanks for watching. I'm Millicent Walker. Have a good night.
Discover the uniqueness in the entertainment industry. African Broadcasting Network, ABN, is now the pace setter in the industry. Do you want to advertise your product and services? Count on us. We will do it much more than your expectations. African Broadcasting Network, ABN, will deliver quick and prompt services. Our quality and clarity stands us out when it comes to delivering quality broadcasting. Our staffs are hardworking and versatile in the specific field of office. Our environment is so conducive and we are open to all. We also give advice on how to run your business profitably. African Broadcasting Network is situated at
9894 Eastern Street, Suite 875, Houston, Texas 77036.
Contact phone 281-652-8396 and
832-490-8203.
Website www.abntvnetwork.com. ABN, celebrating Africans' rich cultural heritage.
African Broadcasting Network. African Broadcasting Network. It's all about Africa. It's all about motherland. Celebrating rich cultural heritage. ABN, we bring the best. Broadcasting Network. Broadcasting Network. African Broadcasting Network. Entertainment, education. African Broadcasting Network. Oh yeah. Information. Nation.